out criminal cartels. And Mexico, you know that, will work with us.
Whoever's typing up
Mexico will work with us.
The subtitles spells wall, W-E-A-L-L. Very interesting, isn't it,
with their
folks?
wonderful, wonderful president today, I really believe they want to solve this problem
anyway,
along with us.
This is a little extract from Donald Trump's amazing speech, powerful speech.
We are going to end catch and release. We catch them? Oh, go ahead. We catch them? Go ahead. Under my administration, anyone who illegally crosses the border will be detained until they are removed out of our country and back to the country from which they came.
Powerful stuff.
And they'll be brought great distances. We're not dropping them right across. They learned that. President Eisenhower, drop them across, right across, and they'd come back and across. Then when they flew them to a long distance, all of a sudden that was the end. We will take them great distances, but we will take them to the country where they came from. And you can call it deported if you want. The press doesn't like that term. You can call it whatever the hell you want. They're gone.
Wow, it's powerful.
Beyond the 2 million.
They're going to deport the 2 million illegal immigrants who are criminals in the United States.
Illegal immigrants who have fled. But their days have run out in this country. The crime will stop. They're going to be gone. It will be over.
Wow.
They're going out fast. Moving forward, we will issue detainers for illegal immigrants who are arrested for any crime whatsoever, and they will be placed into immediate removal proceedings if we even have to do that.
Well, little extracts of the speech just been made.
Brazil's Senate votes to impeach President Dilma Rousseff for breaking budget laws.
Anyway.
Prime Minister delivers his national security speech announcing greater legal protection for our air crews fighting IS in the Middle East. Good afternoon, you're watching ABC News. I'm Ross Childs. Also ahead on the programme, a new survey shows the population of wild African elephants is falling at an alarming rate. In Donald Trump's campaign to be the next president of the United States, the Republican candidate is delivering a major speech in Arizona detailing his controversial immigration policy. And the address comes just hours after a visit to Mexico to meet the country's president. Here's North America correspondent Michael Vincent, who's in our Washington bureau. So firstly, Michael, how's the speech?
Well, Donald Trump came out to a lot of raucous cheers. This is Arizona, of course, the border state with Mexico, where he's received a lot of support from people who are against illegal immigration, and some amongst them are Border Patrol officers, the most famous Joe Arpaio. The warm-up act, Rudy Giuliani, was wearing a baseball cap that said, "Make Mexico great again," also. A literal doff of the cap to the fact that he'd spent the day in Mexico with the Mexican president. But straight into his policy speech, a lot of red meat in this speech, playing a lot to the base of the party that has got him this far, talking about illegal immigration, how illegal immigrants have killed Americans, and also then going through his policies one by one, that they will build the wall, that they will end catch and release policies for people caught on the border, and that they'll all be deported back straight away, that never get a chance to stay in America. And finally, that they would also deport immediately 2 million people they say are criminals living illegally in the United States. Let's hear from Donald Trump.
The truth is, our immigration system is worse than anybody ever realized. But the facts aren't known because the media won't report on them. The politicians won't talk about them. Special interests spend a lot of money trying to cover them up because they are making an absolute fortune. That's the way it is.
And this speech, Michael, came very shortly after his trip to Mexico. What sort of reception did he receive there?
It was a very bizarre invitation from the Mexican president, who's very low in the opinion polls, to invite the man who's insulted his country and his people so regularly throughout this past year of the election campaign. And in the end, they were very demure on camera when they came to do their final statements. In fact, they were only expected to do statements. In the end, the American press jumped up and started asking questions, and so Donald Trump took control, embarrassing the Mexican president yet again, and started answering those questions. And the first question everyone wanted to know was, did you discuss the wall, and what was the answer? Let's hear from Donald Trump.
Having a secure border is a sovereign right and mutually beneficial. We recognize and respect the right of either country to build a physical barrier or wall on any of its borders to stop the illegal movement of people, drugs, and weapons.
So, Michael, do you detect any change of tone in Donald Trump? Is he less aggressive, less confrontational, trying to be more presidential?
Well, certainly that meeting allowed him to be more presidential in person. Immediately afterwards, when he said that Mexico would pay for the wall, the fact that they hadn't discussed that Mexico would pay for the wall didn't come up in their discussions. Immediately after that, once he left the country, or was at least in the air, the Mexican president tweeted one of the very first things he said, he declared at the start of the conversation, was that Mexico would not be paying for the wall. In this speech that Donald Trump has delivered on his policy, to very loud cheers, he said, guess who's going to pay for the wall? Mexico. And in that sense, he said he can work with the Mexican government, and yes, they'll be paying for it. It's a very odd tightrope he's trying to walk here, making himself look presidential, but also appealing to this very raucous crowd in Arizona and those base of supporters who want to get illegal immigrants out, and who are seen as also very anti-Latin American towards the anti-Latino vote here in the United States. Donald Trump is trying to have it both ways, to appeal to those people that he only has 11% support of, that is Latinos in the United States, and also maintain his popularity amongst those white Americans who believe that their jobs are being lost to those immigrants.